Let's see, how many do I know off the top of my head? God of nations, at thy feet, in the bonds of love we meet. Hear our voice as we entreat. God defend our free land. O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all her sons command. Ouviram Ipirangas margens plácidas de povo heróico brado retumante, e o sol da liberdade em raios fúlgidos brilhou no céu da pátria neste instante. God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen. Così si che lele Africa. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? And I believe the last one is, Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free. So, the Olympics. Samsung 7. Samsung 7s for all. Samsung 7s for all the athletes, except the North Koreans who have received them, but apparently will not be able to take them back to their country. Samsung 7s for a world without borders. There's a commercial making the rounds on Brazilian TV. It looks like the kind of commercial that actually would be played in a lot of countries. Because it is, well, there's nothing Brazilian about it. It's like a lot of those sports commercials, for example, where a star athlete would be kicking a ball around and saying some things in whatever his language is, and it's just awesome, and people dig it, people watch it. So I'll bet it's playing in the United States as well. But if it's not, let me describe it to you. People in different scenes, old, young, black, white, neither old nor young, neither black nor white, are singing lines from their national anthems, or from national anthems. It's not their own national anthems, because the Botswanian one is being sung by a blue-eyed girl, and the guy who's singing the Australian one is in Rio and kind of looks Brazilian. Anywho, they're singing lines from these national anthems from around the world, but all kind of the same tune. I don't know what the tune is. Maybe it's the IOC hymn, the Olympic Committee hymn. Who knows? But the point of the movie is that all these songs are bleeding together, running together. Big crowds are singing it, whatever. And they're singing these national anthems from these different countries with little translations underneath. And it's just running together into one song. Samsung 7s for a world without frontiers, a world without borders. Oh, my griefs, oh, my land. There is not some vast world government conspiracy. What there is a shrinking world and people who are hungry for power. We need to hold on to our identities. We need to be proud being who we are. And we need to realize that although our histories, varied as they are, may have a lot of ugliness, they also have a lot of good, and they are who we are. I was just reading a quote from the 19th book, the 19th chapter of The City of God by St. Augustine, talking about how when the philosophers become Christians, they have to repudiate their old ideas, their old doctrines, but they don't have to repudiate their way of life, that which doesn't have to do with religion. There's no reason Christians should or should not wear saris, should or should not eat curry or eat tacos. All creation is the Lord's. All history of the Lord's. All nations are the Lord's. Now, there's good and there's bad, but it's all part of our history, and we should want to hang on to it. Y'all, Australians all let us rejoice, for we are young and free. That has special meaning if you're Australian. Why? Because it's a young and free country. And the youthfulness of Australia is a part of its history. It's relative to where it came from. It's relative to its relationship with Britain and its colonization and how it happened. For we are young and free is a completely generic, meaningless thing to say, unless you're Australian, in which being young is a part of your history. It's part of who you are. One of the things that really pissed me off about this commercial was that it had a line from the South African national anthem in it, from the English verse. So here's the South African national anthem. Let me press pause because the washing machine is starting to go crazy. Okay, South African national anthem. Y'all, I actually sung the only line from it I really know, which is the beginning of it. I know it because I've watched the beginning of rugby games. There are 4 verses in the South African national anthem. 2 are in Xhosa, I think, in a native African language. 1 is in English, and 1 is in Afrikaans, the Dutch language down there. Y'all, as brutal, terrible, divisive a history as South Africa has had and continues to have, that hymn in 3 different languages is such a cool thing. And it should offend us that corporations and politicians should want to blend it all together. Even if South Africans don't want South Africa to be as it is, to stay as it is, I would expect they wouldn't want to forget their history either. That they would, I expect they would not rather be something else. They might want to change their country and change what to be South African is. But in fact, the more deeply patriotic they are, even if there are conflicting visions and fights and conflicts within that, the more deeply South African they truly are. In fact, you know, a lot of regionalisms are attached to ethnicities, land, blood. So are a lot of our poems and our songs. How tawdry, how poor, how sad to have an identity that could be expressed in a meaningless mashup for a Samsung commercial. I mean, that would be... Imagine if the UN had an anthem. I'll bet it does have an anthem. If it has an anthem, it's got to be dumb. Something about world peace. I mean, come on. So, I guess what this video is about is that we should want to hang on to our identities and be aware that there's a lot of propaganda out there. Not a conspiracy, but just people have these ideas that we should all be the same. And the people who proclaim diversity at us are the ones who actually want us to all be the same. They want to eliminate our differences. They want to be young and free, to be a meaningless expression. Like the people who objected to the Brexit lately on the grounds that young people voted for Britain to stay, and now they're going to have to live with the fear, the repercussions, results of the fears of the old people who voted for the Brexit. Y'all, that's just human life and human history. The old people put a check on the young people's ignorance and enthusiasm. In this case, I think the young people were wrong. But regardless, this is just how it goes. And the propaganda feeding that idea regarding Brexit is that we can all be happy together, and we'll be happy together because there will be no more differences. I don't want that. I like being different, and I like that people from China and Wales and the United States and Chile are all very different from each other. And you know what? I am a Christian. I serve the Lord Jesus Christ. I believe in one world government. I believe that one day the kingdom of heaven will be completely come to earth. All will be made right, and all will bow their knees to Jesus Christ. But in a way where all of our differences and our uniqueness and our histories are validated. We're not all going to be the same. We're not going to have all the same dress, all the same food, not even the same ideologies. I believe that human beings were made to be tall, to be short, to be fat, to be thin, to be kind, to be strong, to be better at math or better at language, to be distinct and different from each other. And I would be sad if Australians were not Australians anymore. So should you. So I guess that's it. Be aware. Don't buy Samsung, etc., etc. Peace out.